Hello, game design class. I've set up a to-do list here for you folks. You have plenty to work on. So here's would be my advice for you, depending on where you're at in the class. So first and foremost, you got to get caught up. If you need to finish your walk-run cycle, or you haven't gotten through, say, video 2 successfully in your Godot code, it's time to start panicking. You are falling behind. No way to sugarcoat that. Two new assignments that'll be due this Friday, even though I won't be there. I'll be looking for them when I'm back on Monday. So by this Friday, I'm hoping you can get through a character idle pose. I'll talk through that in a second here. And you should be able to get through Godot Video 3, which is improving upon your animations and changing up your collision shape a little bit. Beyond that, you would just be looking to work ahead, either on the Godot videos or start your pixel art jump cycle, which would be the last piece for your character that you're creating. Like I noted at the bottom here, mid-semester is next Friday, November 5th or whatever that is. So it'd be quite foolish to just sit around just because Mr. Kirk's not there. So mid-semester official grade report, these things will be on it. So act accordingly. So back to these two things. I'm going to talk mostly about the idle pose in a second here, but Godot Video 3, like I said, I believe it's going back and reconsidering some of your animations and setting up a pose for when your character's falling and things like that. So kind of just tweaking the animations and also changing the collision shape to a capsule so that your character kind of slides off the edge as opposed to floating out in space. The idle pose is something that your character will be doing when the player is taking no actions. So we don't just want that to be a still frame. That would make your character just look dead, essentially. So adds a little more life to your character with a well thought out idle pose. So I put together this assignment here. It's in the yellow folders for pixel art here. Similar rubric to your walk cycle, but different things to consider with an idle pose. So first of all, just use your walk cycle Photoshop file as a starting point. So you can kind of see, roughly what the size of your character is. You don't want vastly different file sizes or pixel art sizes when you're creating a new pose like this one. So start with one frame and then maybe make a new layer and start kind of replicating your character, but considering what'll be happening as they're just standing around. The simplest and laziest option for high schoolers that are just looking to jump over the tiniest hurdles possible would probably just be 2 frames up and 2 frames down where your character just looks like they're breathing. So I have a GIF down here where that's kind of this look here. It doesn't look like she's just dead in the water. It looks like she's just waiting around. So up and down, a couple frames, maybe squashed and expanding your character. Her pose is going up and down. There's a lot of kind of more and fun ideas that you can consider for your idle pose. Oftentimes in video games, you'll see something where maybe the character idles through a few frames, maybe 10 to 15 times, so that he or she or it is standing around for, 15, 20 seconds. And then maybe they throw in almost like an Easter egg, so to speak, of like some fun kind of fun pose that the character cycles through if the player waits long enough. So I have a video linked in here of great examples through the past of how video game designers have added things like this into their games. But certain things that I've seen throughout the years are maybe after a while the character eventually sits down. Maybe the character turns to the camera and says something, kind of breaks the fourth wall, so to speak, with a speech bubble or something. Maybe your character falls asleep, or they start doing a cartwheel or starts juggling or something like that, or chews bubble gum. So there's a lot of fun things you can consider, and it's honestly not that much work extra because, like I said, you're probably going to be doing the simple lazy option of up and down, breathing, and then you just copy and paste those 15, 20, 30 times. And then at the end of that kind of longer cycle, then you maybe add a few more frames of something fun that your character does when we wait long enough, just as something more interesting to add to your game. So I added a few GIFs down here of kind of characters going through various idle poses to kind of get your thoughts going. Or you could go to Google image search like I did and search for idle poses and sort by GIFs. or search YouTube or whatever resources you want. But these are just a few resources to get you thinking about it. But ultimately, you're in Photoshop, considering what your character's doing as we're standing around in the game. So that's going to be due this Friday, potentially. I'll have to see how well that went for you this week. And then also Godot Video 2. Like I said, you should know where to find that and how to do that. So good luck. If you have any questions, I'll be available via email. And I'll plan to see you folks on Monday.